Let's begin by coming into child's pose. And once you arrive, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Allow your forehead to soften, your shoulders to rest. And breathing down into your belly, watching the rise and fall of your breath. Good. And when you're ready, come forward onto your hands and to your knees and tuck your toes, downward facing dog pose. Step your feet forward between your hands and take an inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need, perhaps grabbing opposite elbows. And switch the fold of your forearms so that the other one's on top. Continue to follow those breaths in and out through your nose. And then lower your hands down to the mat and roll all the way up to stand. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to meet in front of your heart. Samastitihi. Tadasana, mountain pose. As you inhale, reach your arms overhead and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, step back to plank pose. And take a deep breath in plank, and then exhale, pull your hips back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and lower your knees down to the mat, coming back into tabletop. Bringing your shoulders on top of your hands and your hips on top of your knees, and we'll move into a couple of rounds of cat and cow. As you inhale, open your heart forward through the gateway of your arms, and then exhale, press down and round through your upper back. A few more times, warming up the spine, moving into those spinal fluctuations. And when you're ready, tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands and lower your back knee down to the ground. As you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, lower your hands back down. Step back into downward facing dog pose and then switch sides. Step your left foot forward between your hands, lower your back knee down, and then inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lower your hands down to frame your front foot and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank, and then exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog as you breathe in. And then exhale, downward facing dog as you breathe out. Resting your ears in the framework of your arms, lifting your forearms up as you wrap your triceps down. Come high onto your toes, bend your knees, and step or hop forward between your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms circle up, and then exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or hop back to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, standing into your hands. And then exhale, folding your hips back, downward facing dog. Feeling the navel center hug towards your spine. Return to your breath. And then step or hop forward between your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms reach up to the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, step or hop back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Rolling your inner thighs back, spread your toes. And then step or lightly hop forward between your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Now this time bend your knees into Utkatasana chair pose. Go ahead and hug your left knee in towards your chest, elevating your left foot up off the mat. And then lower it down, and then switch sides. The right knee draws in, and then exhale, lower it down. And forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale through a vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog pose. As you inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky, open your thigh and bend your knee. Take a moment. And then exhale, square off your hips and draw your right knee towards your nose, tiger's pose. Inhale your right leg up and back, and then exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. Run your arms down by your sides so that your hands are by your hips and your chest is reaching forward. And if you like, you can reach your arms up overhead and then slowly start to rise your chest over your hips, coming into crescent. Reach your left hand forward and your right hand back so that you come into an upright twist. Good. And then go ahead and reach forward through your left hand and lower your left hand down to the floor. You can stay here, or if you like, you can roll to the outer edge of your left foot and stack your right foot on top for Vashisthasana, side plank pose. Plug into the inner left hand. And then exhale, lower your right hand down. Once again, through a vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. As you inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky. Go ahead and open your thigh and come into that nice stretch. Straighten out your left leg, square off your hip. And as you exhale, shift forward into plank and draw your left knee towards your nose, tiger's pose. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. And then exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Run your arms down by your sides, turning your palms towards the floor to broaden your collarbones here. If you have more room, you can reach your hands forward to frame your ears. And then go ahead and bend your back knee a little bit so that you can upright the torso on top of your hips and sink a little bit deeper into that pose. Reach your right hand forward and your left hand back so you come into an upright twist. Again, feel the navel center hug in and up towards the spine. And then go ahead and reach forward through your right hand and lower your right hand down inside of your left foot. Staying here in the twist, or if you like, roll to the outer edge of your right foot, stacking your left foot on top, Vashisthasana. Breathe. Good. And then vinyasa or back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg rises. Exhale, step your right foot forward and spin your back foot flat for Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Exhale, lower your hands down to the floor, step back, Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg will rise, and exhale, step your left foot forward, spinning your back foot flat, reaching up into Warrior One. Exhale, the hands come down. Step back, maybe that left foot hovers until you find upward facing dog. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Find your breath. So then once again, step your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, come up into warrior one. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. And then inhale, come up into warrior one. Exhale, lower your hands down and move through a vinyasa or go straight to downward facing dog. Left side, step your left foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down. Finish that exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving into Surya Namaskar B, one breath per movement. A little swifter of a practice. Come high onto your toes, bend your knees, step or hop forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, come to stand, hands to heart, samastitihi. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, right foot steps forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, spin your back foot flat. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down. Finish that exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward dog. One. I'm going to walk your hands back to your feet. Turn your toes slightly out, bend your knees, drop your hips, and come all the way into Malasana Yogi Squat. You can bring your hands to your heart. If this pose does not feel comfortable for you, you can always sit up on a block or on a prop. Maybe elevate your heels on a blanket. And then go ahead and straighten out your legs and return your feet to neutral. Interlace the fingers behind your back, forward fold. And bend your knees as much as you need, releasing your lower back, allowing the crown of your head to drop, focusing on those exhales. And then go ahead and lower your hands down to the mat. Walk your hands back out into downward facing dog pose. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose. And then exhale through a vinyasa or pull your hips back to downward dog. Inhale, your right leg will rise. Exhale, step it forward. And inhale, return into warrior one. Straighten out your right leg, turn your right toes in, parallel your feet. Prasarita Padottanasana, interlace the fingers behind your back and fold forward. Pressing into the outer edges of your feet, lift up through your arches so that your knees lift up and you feel your thighs energize. And then exhale, lower your hands down to the mat. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to stand. Turn your right toes out so you open up that right hip and then bend into warrior two. As you inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Right forearm to thigh or right hand inside of the foot, hugging that right hip under. Take a few breaths. Any variation with that top arm. Hand to the sky, overhead, bound. Good. And then inhale, come back up into warrior two. Straighten out your right leg. Turn your right toes in and your left toes open to the back. Setting up for warrior two on the left side. Bend into that left knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, side angle pose. Left forearm to thigh or left hand inside of the foot as you reach your right arm towards the sky. Any variations with that top arm? And then come back up into warrior two. Straighten out your left leg and turn your left toes in. Bring your heels in and your toes out and sit down into temple pose. Open up your arms and then exhale, right elbow over left, wrapping up your arms into Garudasana, eagle arms. Sink down into your thighs. Inhale, open up your arms, and then exhale, side two. Left elbow and on top of the right. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. See if you can go down just a little lower. Open up your arms. And then straighten your legs and bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Nicely done. Step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, chair twist. Go ahead and bend your knees and hook your left elbow outside your right thigh. As you sink down into your chair, you want to lift your low belly up and just make sure that that left knee is even with the right. Draw the shoulder blades down your back and take another breath. Inhale, come back up to chair. And then exhale, hands to heart and twist into side two. Right elbow will hook outside your left thigh, pressing your left palm into the right, keeping your hips neutral. As your low belly lifts in and up, you start to find that twist across your shoulders. And then inhale, come back up into chair. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to plank pose. And lift your right foot an inch up off the mat. Exhale, draw your right knee to your right tricep, and then step it back to plank. Inhale, your left foot will rise. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. And step back to plank pose. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, press into your hands and protract your shoulders a little bit. Good. It's going to feel a little bit like cat-cow, but in plank pose. As you inhale, heart forward, and then as you exhale, press into your hands. Inhale, heart forward. Good job. Exhale, downward dog. This time, step your left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, come up into warrior one. Turn your left toes open, and once again, open your right foot to the back. This time, setting up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lower your right hand down to the shin or outside your right foot. And look down, step forward into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. You can keep your right hand down on a block or maybe lift your right fingertips up off the mat. And lightly step back, warrior two. Straighten out your left leg, your right leg, turn your right toes in and your left toes open, coming into Trikonasana and side two. Reach forward through your left hand and lower your left hand down to your shin or outside your foot. Look down, bend your left knee, and step up into half moon pose. Energizing that standing leg, you might find a moment of flight by lifting your left fingertips up. And as you exhale, step back into warrior two. Lower your hands down to the mat and step your right foot forward next to the left. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold. Now bend your knees a lot and plant your hands down on the floor. As you bring your knees high up into your triceps or into your armpits, look forward. Keep your gaze forward. And as you exhale, press into your hands, protract your shoulders, and you're going to lean forward, hugging your heels in towards your glutes, bakasana, crow pose. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. And take a moment to lower your knees down and rest in child's pose. Rest. And now from child's pose, lower your forearms down. Bring your forearms parallel, elbows in line with your wrists. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders all in one line. And tuck your toes, dolphin pose. And now lower your hips down, cross your shins. Sit back on your sitting bones. Let's roll all the way down onto the back. Setting up for bridge pose. Place your feet down underneath your knees. Lift your hips. Interlace the fingers behind your back and roll your shoulder blades down your back. Pressing into your outer arms, your wrists. And then release the grip and slowly lower your spine back down to the mat. One more bridge, or if you like, bring your hands back alongside your face with the fingertips facing forward and press up into wheel pose. As you press down into your hands, open your heart. Keep the navel center hugging in to protect your lower back. And then exhale, slowly lower down to the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest, send your left leg forward. Bring your left hand onto your left thigh. Take the peace fingers of your right hand, grab your right big toe, and reach your right foot up to the sky. As you exhale, lift your chest up off the mat, lift your left foot up to hover, and then lift your left foot up next to the right. And coming into side two, hug your left knee into your chest and send your right foot forward. And take your right hand to your right thigh, take the peace fingers of your left hand around your left big toe, and reach your left foot up to the sky. The leg does not have to be straight. You can keep the knee bent. Soften your left shoulder towards the mat. Exhale, lift your chest up off the floor and lift your right foot up to hover. And then lift your right foot up next to the left. Good. Hug both knees into your chest and lower your knees over to the right. Opening up your left arm. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale, bring your knees back to center, and then up and over to the left. Reaching your right arm to the right. You can look to the right if it feels good on your neck. If not, looking up at the sky. Perhaps closing your eyes. Inhale, draw your knees back to center. Give your knees a little hug. Lift your chest up. Try to kiss your kneecaps. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale. Lay yourself down to rest into Shavasana, corpse pose. Legs extend forward. Toes turn out to the side. Arms run down by your side as your palms face the sky. Softening your shoulders and your eyes, your jaw and tongue. And staying here in this state of deep rest and relaxation, allowing your body to recover for as long as you need. We'll end the clip right here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.